beloveds, blessings. It's Lori Ann Spagna here with you today to chat briefly as we enter the Lion's Gate. So, needless to say, the Lion's Gate is open and we are continuing to escalate. The energies will continue to escalate through the Lion's Gate, as the Lion's Gate is typically a period of time where energies escalate, energies associated with fire escalate. Of course, fire burns away the old and transmutes the old and makes way for something new to rise up out of it. Oftentimes we can associate this with the phoenix rising from the ashes. Lion's Gate can be symbolic of that. So in your own life, you might want to look at where things like that are happening. Definitely we've seen an influx or definitely a heightened period of time where the old is burning away. And if we look at our own lives on a personal level, the microcosm, we can see parts of our past that we're leaving behind that may have been with us for quite some time. Of course, on the global stage, we can see it as well. There's always a global mirror, which is the macrocosm, and a personal mirror, which is the microcosm. The Lion's Gate is most helpful for this kind of transformation. When we're ready to release something from the past, when we're ready to transform into something new. Lion's Gate, of course, is very celebrated in lightworker circles as a major portal when energies from the non-physical intensify as well to help people release their own shadows or denser, heavier aspects, those aspects of us that kept us entangled in that old paradigm, and also invite in new aspects, new light, purer frequencies of light, so we can more fully align with the new paradigm. And of course, I know for me, I've been doing this work for more than 20 years. I've seen the change and transformation in my own life and in so many people with whom I've been working for so long. I thought I would share a little bit with my own community here that on a personal level, I know this is affecting me too. The nature of the work that I've been doing is changing very radically and somewhat quickly, but now at an accelerated pace, I can see. So while I've been working in the lightworker community for quite some time, my work is shifting more and more to support and assist other visionaries like me and people who really, truly, really completely do care about humanity. And I'm not saying that my old community didn't. I'm just saying that I'm shifting away from working so much with people who already resonate as lightworker and into the community of people who really want to make change and impact in the world. They very often are people who have businesses already. They're already well-established leaders in their genre. They have families, they have communities, and they are truly attempting to make global impact because they truly are already coming from care. And yet they may feel blocked in some way. Either they feel overwhelmed or they're perfectionists, because many of us who are global leaders are like that. We have perfectionistic qualities. We oftentimes take on more than we can chew. We bite off more than we can chew or take on more than we can handle. We oftentimes are juggling a lot of things in the air all at once, right? And a lot of us are attempting to really bring this change into the world because we truly do care. We're not necessarily sitting on the sidelines or just meditating. Not that that's not amazing, because it is. My whole life has been that way. But we're really taking this into the world. And we're oftentimes taking on so much because we care so much. And we want to make this change. And what I want to help people who are in that position of leadership, of authority, to make that change in the world. What a lot of times, I know for myself, I have been relentless in my own inner journey to really heal and transform my own aspects of myself that in any way, shape, or form kept me tethered to any form of pain or suffering, denial, egoic structure, fourth dimensional, energies. This is, you live in the fourth dimensional reality and you're always like judging other people's energy or you're always feeling like some entity got you, or you're always feeling like somewhere your body's cramped up somehow, or somehow there's some sort of limitations on you. And you can only go so far and you're limited by time. Even if you're a light worker, you've got the limitations of time, energy, money, physicality, the physical body. And so I've been working so hard for myself for so long to transcend that my service and offerings are now really leveling up now in a whole new way as well. This has been part of my own personal microcosm of my journey to help those people who want to make a bigger impact in the world and who are doing it, but still have to work on their own issues in that area. And they're ready to do the deep work. So I know I've been releasing those aspects of my experience where people weren't necessarily willing or ready to do the deep work. They maybe in the past, for me, they might have shown up to calls and just been more passive, or maybe had a kind of like, tell me what's my future, or tell me what's my problem, so, or fix me or solve me, because that mentality, that energy is still very tethered to third and fourth dimensional consciousness. And so in order to really bring forward into the microcosm, this is part of what I personally am having to make shift. So where in your life are you having to release and or transform something so that you can step forward into the world in a greater way and bring something bigger and greater, so that will help and support humanity in making these epic shifts that we're here to make, and so that you really can deliver what you came here to deliver and be the highest fulfillment that you're here to be. What is it that you need to, release to the ashes, likely during the Lion's Gate, and make space for a new phoenix within you to rise, something new to be birthed in and through you? Where might that be happening in your life? So this is what happens during Lion's Gate, and certainly it happens during intensified windows and portals. And naturally, it's happening. I've spoken about this many times. This is happening very much through the 2020s. We're in the 2020s. So we're not even, we're still at the very onset of the 2020s, 2023. Easily, there's 7 more years of this kind of intense transformation. And I hope that won't scare you or worry you when I say that. It's because humanity is going through a radical transformation that is global and beyond global. It's galactic, and beyond galactic, it's dimensional, and potentially it's infinite, potentially, because all things ultimately are all one. So this is why I'm asking you, what is it that you need to release in the fire to be transmuted? And this is all metaphoric, right? Metaphorically speaking. Needless to say, during a fire window such as this, a fire gate, because it's Leo, lion, fire, when we're releasing and transmuting so much in an intensified way, it can definitely shake the nervous system. It can rock us to our core. If we're not able to or prepared to handle traumas or upsets, it can definitely shake us up. But it's designed to help us to release the old versions of us, or the old aspects where we were functioning as less than who we are. Or for some people, and I've seen this in some cases too, some people decide, I'm where I want to be, and this is as far as I want to go. I've had lots of my former students in the past, even the recent past, who have said, this is as far as I want to go. I don't really want to have to do more inner work. And I'd rather just stay in my comfort zone. That's okay. Some people decide that. You have to decide if you're one of those people, and I know I am, who wants to achieve my highest fulfillment in this lifetime and who really wants to get off the hamster wheel of just sort of perpetuating the same old and, ultimately possibly reincarnating because there's still so much egoic structure in your field, whether most people aren't quite aware of that. I've seen even a lot of light workers who sort of believe that they're free of the egoic structure, but are still carrying lots of it and don't necessarily want to do the deep dives and the inner work to make that transformation. For me, that is who I am. That's who I've always been. And those are the kind of people that I'm working with more and more because that's what's required to shift humanity. If you want to be a global leader in your community, it doesn't matter if your community is a community of 10. You can make global and epic proportion. Your community could be a community of animals at a ranch or at a farm or at an animal rescue or rehab center. But you can be the energetic leader that transforms the energy in your space simply by being able to transform the shadow aspects within yourself, that is the density, the heaviness, the draws, and embody more light. But that does require a certain amount of deep dive and a willingness to do the work and to show up. Needless to say, as I've said, Lionsgate Portal is an excellent time for that kind of work because it's the energies of the window are supportive in this. So every year for over 20 years, I've been doing DNA activations during the Lionsgate Portal. This 8/8, which is the exact date of the Lionsgate, will be similar to that. I'm doing DNA activations again. However, this time it's really leveling up for a community that I believe is leveling up. And I know there's a lot of new people waking up and not everybody is a lot of people are new to me. And at the same time, I know that I work with people who truly want to accelerate their journey. So for those people who are coming back, and by the way, our DNA activation webinars that I've been leading, these ones that I've been leading for, over 20 years now, typically speaking, somewhere between 75 to 95% of the people, varies from call to call, but typically are people who keep coming back over and over and over again. As much as 95% sometimes on the calls. So because every one of the calls are always unique and different, and because really they're that good. But what's really interesting is this particular Lionsgate, we're going to focus primarily on some of the activations that are most aligned, like the Phoenix, the Rising of the Phoenix activation, and of course the DNA activations that we always do, but we're going to add a whole new element of stillness, of presence, of allowance for the divine to recalibrate our fields, to realign us energetically with the new paradigm frequencies. And so there will be a period of time in there where it is the divine working on us, in us, through us, and for us without any conversation. And for those people who have been with me in the past, who keep coming back, you will love it. Because this is me leveling up, offering even more at an even more accelerated pace. For new people, you're going to be really happy because you can get still tons of DNA activations over history on the DNA activation membership, but you'll level up in a whole new way through this particular meditation on the Lion's Gate. Because the truth is the divine knows exactly what you need in a most perfect divine way. And I just want to say, I have worked with some of the most amazing, brilliant spiritual healers and teachers. And over the years, I have come to learn and really understand and experience energetically the vastness of what's out there and what's available. And in my own personal quest, I have come to find a process and a practice that is so, in my experience, truly effective and transformational and requires the least amount of effort. And that's what we're going to be doing at this Lionsgate. So I'm inviting you. I would love to have you join us. It's, of course, on August 8th, and it will be live. I did slightly reduce the rate this time, although I can't guarantee it'll stay that way because typically speaking, even the last one, I dropped the rate and I got like a slight complaint, and I know that is always a message. That is always a message. You're pricing too low if somebody does not appreciate the value of this. I've used that as a totem measurement for many years for myself, and it has not entirely failed me. Although my truth in knowing is that this is worth way more, eons more than what I charge. So please do get in, because I can't guarantee that the rate will stay where it is. And I also can't guarantee that I'm going to continue to offer these, since my work is really shifting and changing. And I have a feeling this may be the last year possibly that I'm doing these live. So please do join us. There's also an after party link if you'd like to join us for that. The last after party link event, which was on 7/7/7, the people who were in there got some incredible coaching and healing and guidance for pennies. So I hope you will join us. And of course, you know the link. It's at my website at LoriSpagna.com. Under the live events tab, you'll see the link for the next speed activations call, is what we call it, but it's DNA activations webinar. You'll love it, and it will really accelerate your journey. If there's any part of you that's still carrying in yourself old, worn-out programs, for example, perfectionism, for example, overworking, overgiving without fair reciprocity, slave driver programming, extreme, stress and anxiety from trying to do it all, feeling burnt out. I mean, burnout right now on planet Earth is like an epidemic of its own, because this is part of why the universe was gifted with a at least year-long vacation globally. And now it's kind of like back to the same old. And you know what happens when we rinse and repeat? We just kind of go through the same patterns again. And now burnout is at epic proportions again. So if you're carrying that, this is the kind of thing that will really recalibrate your entire nervous system. And beyond that, your whole energy field, which is way more than your nervous system, to restore you, to replenish you, to rebalance you, to realign you, to let you drop off those old densities and the old operating systems, the old paradigm way of being, behaving, and to really start to embody and integrate more of the new paradigm light, frequencies, and energies, as well as a lot more of those new divine virtues that we're meant to embody and bring forward into the new world. If you have a community that you serve, I really highly invite you, whether your community, as I mentioned, is a family, a group of animals, your own career group, who you serve, your tribe, your community. I think you will really hugely benefit from this, and it will expand out exponentially, of course, because as you raise up your frequency, those around you either are gravitated more to you, or the ones that no longer are resonating at your frequency begin to drop out of your field, and you raise up and you bring others into your field and expand that out. So again, for all of you who truly want to make a global impact, and that's where this was all born for me. I always had service in my heart and wanted to make a massive change for humanity and be part of the solution for humans and for animals. If that resonates with you, I'm inviting you to join us. You will love this, and it will truly be transformational. The feedback I get from people over and over again is just off the chart. charts and continually reinforces why I do this work. It just makes me so happy and joyful to know how much I'm helping others and how much their lives are changing for the better and how much more happiness and fulfillment and joy they have and how much more they feel unified with their source and how many more possibilities open up for them in their lives. This is happening for me on a personal level again, and I see it in my community, and it makes me so happy to see other people rising up to new potentials, new possibilities, expanding into greater opportunities. I hope you will join us. I know this is available to all of us now. And the doors, the windows, they're all wide open as we prepare ourselves to step through. Lionsgate Portal is an excellent opportunity for this. Please don't be confused. This is not one of those love and light kinds of meditation circles where we just imagine bells, whistles, and fairy tales. This is real, effective, energy shifting, transformational work that has permanent effects for the positive upliftment of you and your body, your being, your life, and your living. And yes, it does sometimes mean density, made clear. It always means that, sometimes a little more accelerated than other ways, but it will happen in ways that are good and right for you, for your life. So I hope you will join us. Again, the link is at LoriSpagna.com. Under the Live Events tab, you'll see DNA activations. I will put the link in below this recording as well. Of course, if you're listening to this on YouTube, it might mean it's too late because these kinds of recordings always go out to my inner community first, people who are on the newsletter list and joining me in the community that way. So if you're not there, head over to LoriSpagna.com and get on the newsletter list. There's tons of wonderful free gifts there, but hopefully that's not your primary motivation. Hopefully your primary motivation is that you recognize that there is an opportunity here for massive global change. And the people in the old paradigm really are desiring this, but they just don't know that it's available to them. And as we gather, join, and unite together on this kind of a divine appointment day, such as the Lion's Gate, we get to really anchor it in and bring it forward for the collective that isn't yet aware of a lot of this stuff. We anchor it into our physicality and our energy space in terms of consciousness and energy, and it radiates out from us. And the people around us start to recognize and can't help but realize there's something that they want and need to. It's always free will choice, and yet we become the living demonstration for them. We become the example for humanity of how change happens for the better. So I hope that's helpful. Okay, one last plug for the location. It's at LoriSpagna.com under the Live Events tab. I hope you will join us, Lionsgate Portal 88. When you register, you'll get an automated receipt, and then the call access information goes out to the whole list of the registered participants by email, beginning a few days before the live event. Everybody gets it at once so we can make sure we deliver to everyone registered. So make sure your email address is queued up for that, right, so that you can receive emails from us once you register. Okay, with that, I'm going to sign off for now. And wherever and whatever is going in your unique microcosm, I hope it's truly transformational for you. I'm sure it is. And I'm sending you my infinite love and wishing you your most benevolent best. Until next time, farewell for now.